Hey guys, Fleming Chicken here. I'm really glad I actually got a comment finally asking for it. And something I was planning on doing was the marketplace history prices, or PSA. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? So history prices I'll do for if a card is already PSA worth it. So this one won't have a history price. So I'm already gonna tell you now. We're doing this on Pinsir. These ones specifically, I don't have many other versions of Pinsir. Um, so bottom line up front, Pinsir is not worth to have PSA rated. We'll go over that in a little bit. Um, so yeah, without further ado, let's jump on this episode. These cards at the bottom, if you're new to the channel, everything from this Moltres and to the left will be a part of a giveaway. If you're subscribed, when we hit 50 subscribers, we'll give away one of these cards. And if we hit between 50 and like 100, we'll give the card away with a coin. And we need you to vote in the comment section which of these cards should be the giveaway. So to keep in mind, the Moltres is heavily damaged, but it is still a free card. Um, this Blossom is in pretty much absolute perfect condition, easily 9 or 10 for PSA. This Volcanion is in great condition, EX. This Blossom is in the same exact condition, same exact type of card. And I actually don't know the name of this Pokemon. Does have a big chunk out of it kind of missed in the middle there, but still, once again, free card. Oh, there's some corner dent whiting. So those are your selections. Make sure you leave a comment below so that way we can get a vote going on. But you can only win if you're publicly subscribed, and we have to hit at least 50 subs for one of these cards to go out. If we hit 100 subs, we'll pick 2 cards. But anything between 50 and 100, we'll do the card, one of these cards, and the coin. Now, on to the actual content of this episode, and it is, should I PSA rate this card? So, the only versions of Pinsir I have are these ones right here. Not a huge collection. Granted, I thought Pinsir was cool in the show for sure, but card-wise, not really a great buy and sell. I'm watching, and this is getting into the history of the card, at least market ways a little bit. Um, I see the card looks kind of hard to sell, even in the low points. I mean, it's kind of funny to me. I guess he wasn't really a main Pokemon, but I mean, if you got into the brush between the Pokemon games, he did seem to be in them a lot later in the game. Along with in the show, I remember he was like one of the like most difficult Pokemon for Ash to deal with at the beginning, and he refused to be captured. If I remember the show correctly, I mean that was years and years and years ago. So we're going through the process of how we do this exactly. So good news is too, by the way, if you aren't tracking, PSA is now reopened for business even through the COVID epidemic. So if you do have cards to send, they are rating cards. And really, if you're going to send a lot of cards like me with all my different cards that I have to decide whether it's going to be PSA worthy or not, you have to. It's good to get a membership, either gold, platinum. There's also silver. You kind of have to look for it. But I'm probably just going to go with platinum, actually, to be honest. I don't think I get more of a discount compared to the others, but it lets me rate some more cards early on a quick run. Because if you do standard rating, your slowest budget bulk rating, it takes like 2 or 3 months for your cards to come back to you, which, this whole process, this whole buying and selling of Pokemon cards is kind of a long run game. Once you get started, it's like a train. It's not going to stop until you stop buying more cards to sell. So the idea, of course, is buy cards for less, sell them for more. So I've got 2 exact condition jungle Japanese hollow Pinsirs. Look great, by the way, in my opinion. I've got 1 non-hollow jungle, and I've got 1 non-hollow base set 2. Now, I know I already told you that it's not worth it, and we'll go over that in a second. But what I also did on purpose is I bought a PSA 8 card. So because I didn't have a way to actually rate any card whether it'd be worth it or not. So I also purposely bought a hollow PSA 8 card because hollows are graded the hardest because they have the easiest tendency to get scratched. That's why hollow cards go over so much. 1, because they are rare. 2, they have that hollow artwork versus just the standard non-flashy, non-shiny, not nearly as sexy background artwork. So yeah, they're just more stringent on being graded because they have, scratches and the hollowing is really easy, especially on older cards. They did a good job working on the main like body of the card for its like durability, but that hollow, yeah, they try to do their best to make these hollow cards with, I guess, the printing capability that was available, and it stays on, but it scratches off really easily. So it's really hard to tell on the camera. There is some micro scratches, and that's what makes this an 8. And there really isn't any whiting along the edges. Mainly for this card, the the main artwork was kind of scratched up, and that's what made it an 8. I had to take a closer look at it myself. I use my iPhone white light, which shows way better. Like, at least it shows the details of the card way better than just the lighting you have in a room. Or you can even buy some special like white lamp. I think they cost like $5-10, but you can just use the light on your phones. It'll work just as well. So what we would typically do here is we would take a card, and you can use a hollow rated card to rate a non-hollow. That should be still pretty easy as long as it's not scratched up in the back, because if you have scratches on a non-hollow, you're already looking at 5s and 6s, because it's hard to scratch up, as I said, that normal paint or whatever you want, ink or whatever, versus the hollow ink. So if you have any scratches on a non-hollow, man, game over. Just, I wouldn't even bother. So all these cards to me looked like they were in really good condition, and like easily PSA 8s and up. But now here comes the issue. So, and this is what I talk about with, is it worth it? So let's get to these here. So these ones here, if they were in English, they'd be worth even more. But these hollows and mint to near mint, Jungle base set 1. I'll call it base set 1 because there is a base set 2 of Jungle. So these hollow Jungle base set 1 PSA 9s to 10s if they were rated. Without them being rated, they go for between $13 and $26. That's the asking price. So after I've been selling some things on eBay. So I can tell you can expect offers between $10 to $20. And also, though, you're going to sit on them too. One, Japanese cards don't sell as fast as English cards, at least in America here. And then two, Pinsir just isn't selling hot. It's not like Charizard and Blastoise and Venusaur. Granted, really the main two is Charizard and Blastoise out of those three. So yeah, so as they sit, they go for about $13 and $26. These two here, and so you can expect 10 to 20 as an offer. PSA rating, a PSA 7 asking is $20, and a PSA 9 rating is $25. So we can probably guess that PSA 7 is asking too much if a PSA 9 is $25. Because usually if you go from a 7 to an 8, you can see a $10 to $20 increase depending on what the card was exactly, or I mean even a drastic increase depending on what the card was. 8 is usually your minimum selling point. That's why I bought a PSA 8, so I know what to have rated that will at least reach PSA 8 status. Because you don't want to have anything rated if it's not going to reach PSA 8. Unless it's a super, 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 super rare card anyways. Then yeah, go ahead and get PSA rated. But to get something PSA rated, after you pay your membership fee, which depending on which one you go with, that initial membership fee costs between $150 to $250. I think silver costs a little bit less, but you're probably going to go with gold or plat. It's going to cost you $150 to $250. Granted, those come with some free ratings already, but you still have to pay to ship things back. You're going to want insurance depending on the value of the card during your shipping. And then, so those ones are technically covered with the membership, but then, we're going to go off like the price after that. And it's generally about $7 per card. Well, so if these cards already sell, or offer-wise, go for about $10 to $20, and it's going to cost me $7+ to have them rated, shipping and the cost of the PSA, and then the wait time for it to come back, you're looking at basically $10 to $12 to get them rated. Well, if they sell for $10 to $20 as is, and a PSA 9 is $25, you're not even breaking even at this point. So it's better just to sell them as is. That's not a dent. That's just a hair on the card. I'm a very hairy dude. So these are not worth PSA rating, even if you're going to get a 10. So moving on. So those will be sold as is. I've got non-hollow, base set 2, base set jungle. The base set 2 non-hollow goes for about $2 to $3 in its current condition, which is near mint to mint. The base jungle non-hollow, they go for about $5 and near mint to mint. If you have them PSA rated, non-hollows don't go for a lot PSA rated. The first edition non-hollow Pinsirs base sets right now are going between like 10 to 15 bucks. Neither one of these is first edition, and I don't think they would get a 10. They'd probably come close, but if I'm already going to make however much money, I wish they were worth more. I really do, because I am the buyer and seller, and I wish they sold hotter, but they just don't. And that's just the dilemma you run into. So moving on, though, for buying and selling, because that's what we're talking about with PSA. And I'm going to try and do a PSA series for every last card that comes through here. Is it worth it? At least trying to do rares and above. And sometimes common and uncommons go for high prices just because. It all really depends on playability and some other factors. But I think we're going to try and focus on mainly the cards that are definitely, you know, worth some sort of money in the end no matter what. But these are not worth getting PSA rated unless all of a sudden there's some gigantic spike in Pinsir. And I just want to make clear, too, on this video, the date is May 9th, 2020. The prices can fluctuate, but I don't think Pinsir's going to jump up at all. There's probably some other versions of his card that might be worth more, which is kind of crazy to me because, and it's not always a factor, but base set cards should be the most expensive of any version of that card. And so my suggestion for selling tip, at least, and it's not going to necessarily work out super easily, but it will make your life a little bit easier, is once you start getting one type of Pokemon, so Pinsir, for example, I've got a base set 2 mixed in here, the non-hollows with the hollows, and just for space reasons within your shelves on your house, keep them stacked like that, and then when it comes time when you're ready to try and make decisions on whether you're going to PSA rate it or sell it as is, it's much easier to do it all as a stack, so that way you can just transition the details in your search from Pinsir hollow base set to Pinsir non-hollow base set 2 to Pinsir non-hollow base set jungle. So that's my sales tip on speeding things up. The other thing too, if you're doing like me through eBay, and it's going to be difficult, and there's a big con to this, but there's a pretty decent pro to this. So if you don't have an eBay store, you're limited to 50 free listings as a standard eBay seller each month, and you can still do more listings, but they cost you a little bit of money. Don't forget, eBay is taking a 10% charge on your cards too every time you sell them. So be aware of that fee and try and get your shipping covered as best you can, so that way you're not losing out on shipping fees as well. Because that can hurt you in the end. Where you thought you were making money, now you're actually losing money and spending time doing all this. But what you want to do, if you can, is try and limit yourself to 50 of the same exact card. Now, I don't mean like only 50 cards. I mean only 50 of one exact card. And this is just, and there's a big con to this, but the pro is you have 50 listings. But you can increase the quantity of that one card for a listing. So for example, if I was at 49 if I was at 50 listings and I had this Pinsir on, but I also have 5 of the same Pinsir, you can make that your 50th listing, and then you can put the quantity amount within your price selling, for your prices and how many you're selling. You can put 5, and eBay knows that you have this as your listing, and you have 5 of this exact same item, and the price for each one is what you set it as, unless you put in the description selling all 5 at once on the listing. I know there's only 4 here, but it was just it's a number I picked. 5 is easy. 5 fingers on your hand. So the con is you're limiting yourself to only 50 types of cards you're going to buy. The pros is you'll be able to keep selling without losing your listings, you'll have a great expertise in those 50 cards on what they're worth, so when to buy them and when to sell them. And then you will also I lost some of my pros and cons there, but the main con is you're limited to 50 different types of cards, not 50 quantity though. You can have 100 of Pinsir and just have him as your one listing. And yeah, it's gonna be a little bit difficult. But this is just to try and if you're just doing this as a side thing, if you're starting out, you should be open to all your options, of course. But that's just my suggestion for speed selling. So bottom line for Pinsir, not worth getting PSA rated, at least these types of Pinsir, which is surprising because it is the base set. So I can only presume the other versions of Pinsir probably aren't worth it. There are some trainer versions which are worth it. But you just gotta look it up, each individual card. It becomes a little bit annoying. But this is our series on this. And if you're catching up on the end, if we hit 50 subscribers and you vote in the comments, we'll give one of these cards away to one lucky winner. If we hit 100 subscribers, we'll pick 2 of the cards. And the comments below, let us know what you think, which card should be given away. So if everyone comments Moltres and only one person's comments Blossom, we'll give away the Moltres. Keep in mind, the Moltres is heavily damaged. The rest of the cards are in fairly good condition, except for this card, which has a big whiting patch in the middle. And then also, if we hit between 50 and 100, we'll do the card and we'll do the coin to the same person. So make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video because we can't increase the subscribers if we don't share the video. So there won't be a giveaway till we hit 50 subscribers. So yeah, thanks, and I'm hoping to get some more Pokemon pulls off Facebook Marketplace. I've ordered some eBay listings. I do have some really busy weeks for my normal work week. I'm working like 70-hour weeks, so that's pretty rough. But you'll be able to find these on eBay. I mean, there's tons of them on eBay, but mine will be listed too. So yeah, maybe you'll get one from me and you won't know. Yeah, so like, share, and subscribe. Thanks.